Today we are going to talk about two things: acupressure as we know it and understand it, and a little bit about oil pulling, which is a technique that is used for better health. So the bits we are going to touch on are acupressure history, acupressure theory and practice, some practical acupressure for all of you, hands, feet and ear acupressure, commonly referred to as reflexology, oil pulling theory, the technique of oil pulling, effects of it, and a summary of the whole session. So here we go. Acupressure for health. This is one of the oldest forms of self-therapy and helping others through your own personal abilities. What am I stating here? It will be looked at from ancient times that when we feel tired and our muscles, ligaments, joints feel tired, we generally rub them like this to make us feel better. This is essentially acupressure being applied in a random manner. Similarly, when we feel tired and when we get others to rub our body, squeeze our muscles, whether by hand, by foot, by using their body, etc., and we feel relieved, is all about acupressure. These formulated techniques are supposed to be more effective and therapeutic for the whole body in terms of local effect and generic effect. Then, as we grew in knowledge and skills, developed into a refined science where the various effective and more potent points around the body were stimulated to achieve improved success of ancient, simple, random techniques. That does not mean those techniques are not effective. Acupressure therapy is based on acupuncture points around the body. The energic points are on meridians and circulate chi or energy. These points act as valves to regulate the flow of energy, increase, decrease, harmonize, and balance. When we need to study body acupressure, where there is intense amount of literature and lots of points to worry about with their energy flows and circulation of energy, then that requires a thorough formulated course to make sure you're doing it right and you don't get into trouble or affect people negatively. What we are going to refer to here today is more layman's type of acupressure for health, which we would like to consider that all of you can do, and I'll take you through some of those in the next few minutes. We are going to focus on the ears. I'm pointing to each of these. Hands, both sides, the back and the front of the hand, and the back of the hand. Feet, mainly the soles of the feet on which we walk. These areas have zones for different body organs. The whole body is represented in our feet, in our hands, and in our ears. So we can safely manage home treatment for our illnesses using any of these modalities. This study is commonly referred to as reflexology, and you may come across people who claim that they are reflexologists, and they will generally be working on mainly the ears, the hands, and the feet. Acupressure points are located all over the body. We are going to talk only about these three areas. The body parts require a lot of education. This does not mean reflexologists need not know and study further. But what I'm going to address is some simple strategies that all of you can utilize for your own personal better health. Do not think you can go and do this to others. So what we are going to refer to acupressure here is more the reflexology aspects, but consider the topic being discussed as acupressure for the whole body. So the same rules apply across the body, any acupressure point. Acupressure requires proper education and in-depth knowledge about the body, the various illnesses, points and their manipulation, effects and contraindications of the points that you're using. Acupressure can be done by hand or by using special tools that are available. Treatment session can last from 5 to 10 minutes to 20 to 30 minutes depending on condition, severity, etc. General tips for acupressure points management. When you start using acupressure, you may find some of the points being used are tender to the touch. They may actually change color. They may go reddish or blackish, swell up or be deformed. The skin around those areas may be flaky. The flexibility of the tissues may be compromised. You might find them tough, hard, dry skin. Tissue flexibility is hampered. The tender area when treated can change to non-tender within hours, days or weeks. As soon as the tenderness eases and changes, you may start noticing that there are respective organ changes and that might bring some relief. Hands can be used on the ear and hand points. Barefoot walking on gravel, grass, stones can be utilized for foot acupressure. Relief can be as quickly as a few minutes to a few hours. Relief can be short-term or long-term. Simple and acute problems respond quickly. Chronic problems may take longer to resolve. Deeper the depth of problem, slower it may respond. It is a general rule that more chronic the illness, the slower the recovery. Please be particular about ensuring you use acupressure till the complete problem is sorted out. Otherwise, you'll find after a few weeks or few months, the problem will recur. Now here we are going to focus on the hands, feet and the ears. So when we talk about the hands, what you need to know is both sides of the hands have got points or areas. Let us look at the hands, feet and ear as areas, not specific points. So you will notice in the list provided, charts provided, that the whole body is covered in the hands. Okay. So, if we are going to look at the hands on the back, let us look at some ways of how you can work on your back of the hand. You can do this, you can do this, you can do this. Now remember, you're not doing it only on the back. When you press like this, you're pressing top and bottom. So you're pressing on both sides of the finger. So you're pressing on the outer side and the inner side. Okay, and you can do this. When you're looking at the palms, you can actually do it in a simple manner as this. Now, don't be surprised if certain aspects of your palm are tender, especially around the hand. Now, a very simple strategy to start off that I will talk about, which can be used by everybody, is this, clapping your hands. Now, when we clap our hands, we do this. But if you were to do this, where you're compressing the fingers against each other, and do this hard. Do this for about 10 seconds with me. Suddenly you will find that the fingers start becoming active, as if they have been stimulated. The other simple technique you can use is this. Remember, you're doing the whole hand across both surfaces, so you don't have to be stuck with doing only the front or the back. You don't have to worry about what problem you have and which points to use. You just stimulate the whole hand, including the gaps. Don't forget the gaps between the fingers. There's a soft area. You'll find the soft area is quite painful. Okay. I showed you clapping this way. The other way to clap is back to back of the hand. Okay. So every which way you work your hands, you can help your body a little bit. And don't be surprised, as you start doing this, you find that your hand is sore in certain spots. As you keep doing it every day, you find that the soreness is slowly easing. And then one fine day you look at your body and you go, oh, my neck pain is better, my headaches are reduced, my periods have changed, my sleep is better. And that is because you are stimulating the points of the hands to trigger the body into action and get yourself some balance, bring harmony to your body. Now, foot massage. I've given you different views, different sources of charts. You will again find that they are specifically showing parts of the body. The whole body is covered in the foot. Okay? Now, we are not paying much attention to the dorsum of the foot, the top of the foot. Not because points don't exist, but it is a bit harder to do and there are more challenging areas. But the feet are easy to manage. Now, you can either get somebody to work with your hands like this on your feet, or the simplest is go out and walk barefoot. Now, walking barefoot within the house on the floor is not as good as it could be with gravel or grass and small stones and rough roads, etc. But a starting point is walking barefoot at home. Then when you go out, you can grade yourself by walking on beautiful grass. They say walking on grass early in the morning when there is dew is much more beneficial because you get the benefits of the dew as well. But in today's world, be careful of glass, needles, prickly things, etc. thrown around by people as garbage, which can be dangerous. Needles, particularly because if they are drug addict needles or infected needles and stuff like that, or blades, etc., that I find on the open grounds, you need to be careful about that, which is a problem. Otherwise, walking on grass is beautiful in the morning. So you can grade yourself in terms of walking on grass, walking on soft soil, walking on sand, walking on rough soil, walking on small gravel, walking on rounded stones, walking on the road, walking on rough stones, walking on gravel. For those of you who have been following Modi ji, you may find that in the Prime Minister's residence, where he does his yoga every morning in the open air, he actually has a path where he walks. It has got round stones and he walks as acupressure in that patch. I think it's about a 10 or 15 foot walking path. And he walks in that. The idea is it stimulates the different points in the foot and tries to bring harmony to the body. So these are all the simple things you can use. The information I have given you about the different areas is just for your knowledge. You don't need to go and say, oh, I've got a headache, so I'm going to touch this point. I've got a backache, so I'm going to touch this point. Leave that to the professionals. But by the same token, if you've got a headache or a backache and you start walking barefoot and you get results, so be it. Enjoy better health. Now we are talking about the ear. The ear has got specific areas that are covered. There are points as well, but we won't go into the points because that is very technical and they are very minute. But roughly the areas, and as they have demarcated here on this chart or on this chart. What is interesting to note from this chart is the fetal position of the body. The head is near the earlobes at the bottom, and it goes all the way down lying in a fetal position. So all the points are related to the fetal position. Now, how do you work the ear? Let me try and show you. The ear, a simple way is just pulling your ears everywhere, but don't pull them. Just squeeze them. Now, it is important to note when you squeeze them that you do not rub the skin. The ear skin is quite delicate, and if somebody has got dry skin, it will be flaky and it may dry up and even bleed. So just press. Do not squeeze. Can you see that? Press. Do not squeeze or rub. Because if you rub, it will rub the skin. Now, a simple way to look at in the shower every day, you can just box your ears. And most of your points will be covered if you do this. But box them. Now, the other thing you will find is most of you have got ears which are not as soft as I am making them. They are not as pliable. And if you look at kids' ears, you'll find they are like flesh. They just fold any which way, like I'm showing you. That is because I have maintained my ears' energy points in a normal manner or closer to normal. So they are very flexible. But a lot of you may find they're quite hard, and when you try to fold them, it will be painful. If you keep practicing every day, within about a month or two, you might be surprised that your ears become soft as well. Again, as the ears become soft, you may notice that some of your health problems may disappear. They may be minor or they may be major, but they may start easing and give you relief. And that is what acupressure is all about, reflexology is all about. The other interesting feature to note for Bharatiya people, Indians who tend to use jewelry, and we pierce our ears. Now, if you look at the lower lobe here, and if you look at the lower lobe in the picture, you'll be surprised that most of the points used for piercing the ear the first time in the early days, in the 12th or 14th day when we are after we are born, that we prick our ears, male and female, happens to coincide with the eye point on the chart. Now, we all know that that point is referred to as eyes bright, and we also know from tradition that when you needle that point and put gold in there, a gold earring, which is what traditional customs say, that you actually stimulate that point when you play with your earring every day, and that stimulation keeps your eyes bright. And if you talk to older people, they'll tell you, कान टोचले की डोळे तीक्ष्ण राहतात. So when you prick your ears at birth, after birth, and put that ring there, then you're likely to have better eyesight. That doesn't mean Indians should not wear glasses, but that is the philosophy, and that fits in with the acupuncture theory is what I'm trying to share with you. So now to summarize acupressure, especially in terms of the larger body of knowledge of acupressure, it's a very effective tool when used properly. We have restricted ourselves to reflexology, which is only the hands, feet, and the ears. Please enjoy the benefits listed above and try to get your body working perfectly again. Please remember to maintain the body at good health status to enjoy better health all the time. What do I mean by that? If your hands, feet and ears have been worked on and they're not sore anymore and all the tender points have disappeared, the ears are nice and flexible, foldable any which way, do not let go and find that the rot sets in again and you have to start the ball rolling all over again. Okay, just maintain them. At least 2 or 3 times a week, do the things that we have talked about and you might find that you'll maintain better health as well. Now we said that we are going to talk about oil pulling, which is another technique. I have clubbed it with acupressure. It is not linked to acupressure. Please be aware, it is not linked to acupressure, but since this video was a short one, I thought we could pull it together and share the knowledge. And oil pulling is a very small segment. This is an ancient Ayurvedic technique where you use any thin oil like olive oil, sesame oil or coconut oil to rinse your mouth thoroughly. As part of this rinsing with the technique demonstrated, it is said a lot of the toxins leave the body and cleansing process starts. It has been accepted as a great tool for improved oral hygiene. There is some evidence that systemic conditions of health, especially chronic conditions, respond very well. Technique. You must do this first thing in the morning. So as soon as you get up, even before you brush your teeth, this should be practiced. You take a tablespoon or a little bit less, depending on the size of the mouth, of oil in your mouth. Then start to rinse it around the mouth. And I'm going to show the technique in a minute in a video. The essential technique to be implemented is as follows. Bring the oil to the front in the lip section between the teeth and the lips. And then pull it between your teeth towards the back through clenched teeth. And keep doing this. Bringing it forward and taking it back. I'm going to now demonstrate the technique and talk you through it. Okay, I'm demonstrating it with water. I've just taken a tablespoon of water, and if you watch my face carefully, you'll find I'm bringing the water to the front of the teeth and then pulling it back. As I try to pull harder, you may notice my eyes and muscles around the forehead also move. If you look carefully, you will find as I'm doing this, my neck muscles are also working very hard. Now we know that there's a large collection of lymph glands around the neck area and the lower head area. So you do this repeatedly for about 10 to 15 minutes if you can manage it. Initially, you may be able to manage only 1 or 2 minutes. Why? Because as you start doing it, the oil will become frothy, mixed with saliva, and can be foul smelling at times enough that you feel nauseating and vomiting. We don't want to go there. But that is a suggestion that you have collected enough toxins from the body to dispose it of. Now, because I'm using water, I'm just spitting in the wash basin. Now you can't see the frothiness here, but the water also got quite frothy. When you're disposing this oil, please spit into the toilet rather than the wash basin. That is the recommendation. It's very, very important to ensure you do not swallow any of the oil. Now, what am I showing you here? After you've done this, after you have cleaned your mouth thoroughly, when you check the tongue, don't be surprised if your tongue was a bit slimy at the start and now it has become rasp and a bit rough. So all the toxins, the kachra, the negativity that is there in your mouth may have been released and thrown out. Very, very important to ensure you do not swallow any of the oil and saliva as it is loaded with toxins, bacteria, and is harmful to the body. So make sure you spit it out. Make sure you clean your mouth thoroughly before you move on. So please rinse your mouth thoroughly after that, or brush your teeth for complete cleansing. Effects will be noticeable as quickly as 1 day to weeks. Care must be taken regarding oil and saliva not being swallowed. I'm repeating here. Care must be taken regarding oil and saliva not to be swallowed. Please practice this every day in the morning for best effects. What are the effects? Cleansing of the oral cavity, reducing or getting rid of oral infections, whitening of the teeth may occur, gums tend to get stronger, the system starts to detoxify, that's the whole human body. If you have any systemic disease, may start to show changes, overall feeling better in health and thus becoming freer from disease. So in summary today, what have we covered? We have talked about acupressure for health, and then we have focused on reflexology, which is about the ears, the hands, and the feet, which can be used safely to benefit yourself. We have talked about good oral hygiene using oil pulling. Both these things, systemic disease can be assisted with oil pulling and with acupressure. We recommend devoting 30 minutes towards acupressure and oil pulling, which can impart better quality of life for you. So to sum up, we have given you information regarding acupressure. We have explained that acupressure is a science by itself and using body points is quite an intricate art. We have also explained that reflexology is also a complex science. If you need to do it specifically for certain illnesses, then you need to be better off educated. But we have given you some hints to do it in a simplistic manner for home use. So, using the ears, using the hands, using the ears, using the hands, and using your feet as directed, you can actually help yourself a little bit. Then we moved on to oil pulling and we demonstrated oil pulling. And now, having given you both these bits of knowledge which you can use yourself, I would like you to see if you would like to practice it. And if you practice it regularly for about 3 months or 100 days, as they say, to change a person, then it will become a way of life. And once it becomes a way of life and that subtle change is happening without making too many major changes, slow change changes the body. And now, having become a habit, you become part of it and you're slowly on your path to becoming freer from disease. A bit about me. My name is Anand Bapat. I operate the Bharti Acupuncture Bhavan and the Scientific Surya Namaskar Academy at Pune. We use mainly natural therapies for healing people across the spectrum. We are attempting to bring scientific naturopathy on a platform where science is linked to all natural therapy processes. I'm a leading world expert on Shivambu and I'm propagating Shivambu. For the last 7-8 years, we have had YouTube videos where people can connect with me online and I answer their queries. That's a free internet clinic and we are getting a good response across the world. Today we are offering freedom from disease educational programs for the corporate world and for large groups in Pune and around Pune. That is a 4-hour program. We have condensed that into all these videos that we are offering you all as part of education to encourage each one of you to become freer from disease. Thank you very much. Take care. Namaskar.
Thank you, Anand Bapat, for your valuable information on health. This series is a 15 to 22 part series on developing oneself into a healthy person. This series will educate, guide, and provide support through our online educational and support services to enhance your health. All queries are welcome on the following email.
Download app Health Siren for all health solutions at your doorstep.